This is Sway. Sway.
Sway.
Sway.
In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning. Shake that fire. Wake your fuck ass up.
Wow. It's like we're reliving it again, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, here awesome. For the first time, the next level after winning Miss USA.
Right.
They all come here.
They have to.
This is how we legitimize the crown right here. It's when you come here.
Yes.
It's one thing to be on that stage in front of the entire world, but it's another thing to be here on Sway in the Morning, and that's when you know your journey is complete. Welcome to the show. The one and only Miss USA Deshauna Barber is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody.
Good for you.
So happy to be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. My little cousin called me and said, big cousin, did you see the girl? Because she looks just like you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you see Miss USA? It looked just like me. And I was like, I didn't even think about that.
You have a picture of her?
I don't
need
have
to
one.
See it
I
after.
do not have one on me.
Okay.
Okay. But trust me, she's a high school student.
Okay.
I thought it was cool because she said I don't usually see people that look just like me when these kind of pageants.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a big deal? I mean, you can't hear that enough, right?
Yeah, I get that a lot. And a lot of people have even been saying that on my social media accounts. They're like, wow, it's so good to look on TV and see somebody that looks like me.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
It's good to see some chocolate.
Yeah.
The world got to recognize the chocolate, yo. From the darkness comes the light.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's call it like it is. The good year. Obama's leaving, but Deshauna's in.
Yeah, I'm taking over. Taking over.
They're not feeling me on that. They're not feeling me.
I'm feeling it.
You're a military brat, right?
Yes.
Do you hate that brat title?
No, I mean it fits. I don't want to say brat is in brat, but it fits. It's always been Army brat, military brat. I've traveled all over the country in terms of where I've lived because of my dad and my mom's military service. So I've just kind of been all over the place, and I ended up in D.C.
You're in D.C. You're an IT analyst?
I am at Department of Commerce.
At the Department of Commerce. Give her a round, man. Come on, man. What we doing here, man? We got to be celebrating this.
It's okay.
You got your master's degree?
I do, yeah.
In what?
Computer information systems.
What are we doing here? She ain't got no #1 album.
Right.
She got a master's degree.
Thank you.
And that's going to last a lifetime. #1 albums only last 2-3 days nowadays. Maybe a week.
So, Deshauna, how does that work? Like, did you just have a regular job before?
Yeah. I was a very regular person. Yeah. Other than, so I'm in the Army Reserve, so I do my 2 days a month.
Okay.
And my 2 weeks a year. I'm a commander, so really it's more than 2 days a month, but it's usually administrative work throughout the day. And
You're a commander?
I command a unit in Rockville, Maryland. So
what's the actual job requirements for that?
So I have a good amount of soldiers that work under me, and I report to my battalion commander. I'm a company commander, and then he reports to brigade commander and then the echelon commander, and it just goes all the way up. But so that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years in the reserve side, and then I work full time for Department of Commerce. So
wait a minute. So you just come into work one day, you go, I'm gonna do this pageant.
I was actually doing pageants before I started the job. So I've been doing pageants since I was 19.
Oh.
I've just been losing a lot. So I finally won, at 26.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. I'm like, how does
it's like,
all
how
happen?
haven't you won a long time ago? Yeah, I've just been losing and losing and losing. But I finally decided to get a pageant coach, and I finally won when I got a pageant coach.
When you got
There
a
are
pageant.
pageant coaches?
What did they teach you how to wave?
No, well, it kind of comes down to even the dress, the color, the earring, your speaking skills in interview, the things you say, the things you don't say. It's a lot of, I think I just needed some polishing. So that's all that was. And once I won Miss District of Columbia, USA, you age out at 26. So it was my last year to compete.
This was it, huh?
Yeah, it was the only opportunity. So I went all out.
This is it. She's a senior citizen as far as pageants go.
Pageants, yeah. we were actually a very old class. We called ourselves the class of the losers or the pageant veterans because a lot of us had competed 6, 7, 8 times.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were actually a very humble class. A lot of us, we were just happy to be there. I mean, that's all we cared about, even if we didn't place. If I didn't place at Miss USA, I would have been okay. I was just happy to have made it that far.
Wow. So Deshauna Barber is like an old school MC. You know what I mean? That just got one last hit in.
Yeah.
That's what this
just made it.
You think that pageant coach helped you a lot? Because we were talking behind the mic about people thought it was controversial. Was it with Miss Hawaii?
Miss Hawaii got the question about who would she vote for, and a lot of people weren't happy with that. They thought it was unfair to ask her.
What you would have said if they had asked you that question based on what you learned in pageants and your pageant coach? What would you have responded with?
Well, I would have responded that I'm undecided. I mean, they ask these questions. You don't necessarily have to answer them. A lot of the times you just need to respond with a very unbiased approach. So I probably would have said something along the lines of, right now my platform is focused on our veterans. And I haven't heard either of the candidates talk about PTSD care for our veterans, bringing our soldiers home, and the backlog at the VA. So once they discuss that, I'll be able to decide who I would like to be the next president.
Come through.
Ooh, damn, you won again. You just won again.
She could be a
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
And Hawaii did an awesome job. I mean, she responded with a very unbiased opinion. She just said, whoever I want to be president, I want them to do an awesome job. I want them to take care of this country. And you can respond that way. I think a lot of people took the question very literal. And you don't have to take it that way. You don't have to take it very literally. Just respond and make sure you're not insulting anybody.
So what are your thoughts being in the service? You know, Donald Trump took a lot of scrutiny about his money raising efforts for the military, for the veterans, and what did you think about all that? Did you think it was a ploy to bring attention to his campaign, or were you happy that he was actually doing it?
Well, any efforts that's focused on raising money for our veterans, I'm definitely for that.
Okay.
I don't care who it's by. If you're raising money for our veterans, they're the ones that count the most right now in this country. They're the ones that take care of us. They're the ones that are the reason why we're able to have the freedoms that we have in this nation. So any efforts towards that, I support. Okay.
You know, but what I find is during campaign season, you do hear all these candidates who they talk about the vets and people who served in the military. They don't talk about transitional housing. They don't talk about any type of orientation that they give returning vets to kind of get them back into civilian life, or TBI or post-traumatic stress. They don't speak about those things when it's not campaign season, though.
Right.
So do you feel like these candidates are just using vet issues, just to... You don't get tired of that, or does it matter? As long as they
it could be very possible. I wouldn't be able to tell until they become president if they actually push through with what initiatives they claim that they were going to do. But I'm glad that they're talking about it if they actually are. And what his fundraising efforts, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Anything that goes towards our veterans, and I think he raised either $4 or $5 million, which is good. I commend him on that, and I hope that continues with all the candidates.
Deshauna Barber said, "You ever smoke a joint?" I just want to trip her up. You know what I mean? Like she got to answer for everything, man. I just want to see, if they would have.
You're never going to be a judge.
You never smoked a joint.
Not a smoker.
Okay.
Was it harder though this year, Deshauna, entering the pageant? Would it be in a presidential election year? Was it harder?
I think so, because it's very... I mean, there's a lot going on in the country right now, and there's really like Democrats against Republicans and independents. It's a very, I don't want to say hostile year, but it's a very controversial year.
Yeah.
And I think that's more than anything. I think that's why I was so happy to have won Miss USA as a soldier, is because I think it brings a little bit more patriotism into the country right now. It has someone standing up there representing the nation. I don't really care. I don't want to say I don't care, but I'm not really focused on politics. I'm just focused on making sure that everyone realizes that we're all Americans, regardless of your political views. And it's important for us not to be so aggressive towards each other just because we might be voting for a different president than the other person. Yeah. That's my main focus.
That's kind of ridiculous, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're all Americans. We all need to be humble for being in this country and having the freedoms that we have. I don't think people really recognize the sacrifices that are being made by soldiers just for us to be able to sit here at this radio station and have this discussion. Right now, my best friend is deployed in Afghanistan, and hopefully she'll be back by the time this universe comes on. But I see her saying, "Oh, my unit was just attacked yesterday," or we just had a IED ran over on Humvee. Like, there's all these things that are happening right now. We're so focused on these little things like a bathroom and all these ridiculous things, and I don't think people really humble themselves and understand that there are literally soldiers overseas dying for us to be here today. And we're so focused on very minuscule topics in the news right now. So it does bother me at times, but I do recognize the fact that me being here and being able to discuss these things is what's bringing awareness to the issues that's going on.
Deshauna Barber, man, she's killing it still, man. It's like the pageant is still happening. Wow, gosh.
Thank
so
you.
Let me ask you this question then. If you were deployed and you had to pick up a gun, you would go into combat?
Absolutely.
As Miss USA.
I wouldn't have a choice.
Really?
I mean, I would obviously have to relinquish my title to my first runner-up to Chelsea.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to. I can't deploy and walk out there as as Miss USA.
I mean, but could you imagine, like, if you deployed, you got the ribbon around your chest and you got
crown.
you got the crown on your head. So of course, you know, right? And you out there and you pointing that gun. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That'd be kind of hot. That'd be, that'd be sexy.
She come in ride the tank like waving.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But no, if I did actually literally get deployed, I would have to relinquish my title, which is okay. I know what I signed up for, and I think the Miss Universe organization knows what I signed for, which is why they picked Hawaii, and she would make an awesome Miss USA. I don't believe I'm going to get called to deploy anytime soon, but if it were to happen, that's my responsibility.
Man, I like that. Salute, Commander.
Thank you.
All right, Deshauna Barber is here. Miss USA, you want to talk with her? 888-742-3345. Give us a call. Sway in the morning, Shade 45. We got Miss USA.
Yeah.
They all come to see us after they win their crowns. The crowns.
All of them do, Sway.
You know, we just had Miss Universe came too. For the past 4 or 5 years, every Miss USA, immediately after winning the crown.
Oh, nice.
Immediately, the first thing, you know, like after you win the Super Bowl and they ask the quarterback, where are you going to go next? And the quarterback usually says,
Disney World.
Okay, now with the pageant industry, when they say, what you going to do next? They usually say,
Sway Universe.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad I'm here.
Shauna's like, I didn't see that.
I'm sorry. I'm like,
nobody told me that. You know. Did you think you were going to win?
No, I didn't think I was going to win. Well, I never go into a pageant thinking that I'm going to win. My very first pageant when I was 19, I just swore up and down, this was done. I don't even know why I'm standing here. Let's just give me the crown. And that I was devastated when I lost. So from there on, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go in, humble myself, and just be happy to make it every step that I make. So when I was standing there with Miss Hawaii, I was just like, they're not going to pick me. But you know what, Deshauna, it's okay. I'm just happy I'm standing up here with her and everything's going to be good and go back to my cubicle life and it all happens just fine. Yeah. But when they called my name, like my knees gave out and I was about to fall to the ground, but I kind of like bent over and I couldn't breathe. And it was a very surreal feeling. And right now, even in this moment, it still hasn't quite registered yet that I'm Miss USA.
You're Miss USA. You did
I'm
it. I
trying
watched
to get myself to click it.
Yeah, you Miss USA. You may get free food at Denny's or something like that. Now you're gonna start getting perks. But
I love Denny's.
How much money is involved in this? Like, I think because we were talking off air, you said a lot of girls, especially of color, aren't really into the pageant industry. We don't know. But what are some of the benefits outside of just winning the crown?
Well, there's definitely scholarship money in the Miss Universe organization. And if you go on to MissUSA.com, you can click on each state that a person will want to compete in. You can see like the benefits and the prize packages. But as Miss District of Columbia USA, actually won 56 or 57, almost $60,000 in scholarship money. And if you make top 5, I think it's 25,000, and then top 10 is like 10, and it goes all the way down. I don't want to get these numbers incorrect, so make sure you check the website first. But there's so much scholarship money that comes out of it. I also receive a scholarship to the New York Film Academy. So if I ever want to go into acting or something along those lines, I can use that. There's a lot of benefits that come out of it. Not only that, interview skills, communication skills. Like, it's an industry where you really have to be able to stand up in front of a group of people and be able to communicate with them.
You're a great Miss USA, man. I swear.
Yeah, that's nice.
Thank you.
I'm happy that you touched on that because I was going to say what initially made you say, let me do pageants, because I feel like people always stereotype girls that want to go into that world and just think they're just hyper aware of their prettiness.
Yeah. Well, when the lady first approached me, because I was working in Target, I went to Virginia State University, and during the summers, I would work at Target like a salesperson. And she was staring at me for the longest time. And she walked up and she said, hey, like, were you born in this country? And I was immediately offended. I'm like, I was like, yeah, I was born here. She's like, how old are you? I'm like, 19. She's like, do you have any kids? And I'm like, no, I don't have any kids, ma'am. And then she's like, have you ever considered pageants? And I said, no, like Miss Congeniality, Sandra Bullock. No, I've never considered pageants. She's like, will you meet me at Starbucks tomorrow? And da-da-da-da. So I met her at Starbucks the next day. She bought like a foot tall stack of pageant books. And we went over it and she spoke to me about interview and all these other things. And She actually helped me enter into my first pageant 3 months after that. And if anything, it gives me that girly feeling because my mom and my dad were both military. I didn't really get that glamorous girly lifestyle or childhood.
Okay.
So it really helps me get in touch with that side of myself. And I think more than anything, that's the reason why I like it so much. And unfortunately, Leslie Morton, she's the one that approached me that day. She passed away last year to leukemia. Yeah, so she didn't even get a chance to see me win Miss District of Columbia USA or Miss USA.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so hurtful, and that's another reason why I cried so hard on stage. And even when I won Miss DC, I was bawling out too because I knew what it took to be here. And I knew that, man, what if she would have walked down a different aisle?
Right.
Like, what if I never saw her that day? What if I didn't work that day or I called out?
Yeah.
There's so much like a domino effect of events that got me here. And it just seems almost like it's destined to happen.
What's her name?
Leslie Morton.
Leslie Morton. Okay. Shout out, you know, we got to send our
She
regards
is
to
an
her.
angel.
Because if it wasn't for Leslie, you wouldn't be here on this show this morning.
I surely would. I surely would.
Leslie got foresight.
Yeah, she does.
Rest in peace.
Thank you.
We got Perry on the line. Good morning, Perry.
Hey, Perry.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Terry Son from South Carolina.
Hi, Perry.
Hey, I'm gonna do Virginia State too. I just got my master's.
Team
like
Trojan.
last year in May, and I saw you when you got your crown. I do counseling, right? So what I was doing was
about 10
program.
seconds.
Yeah, I was in a program when the lady from '06, I think her name was Tara Connor. She was Miss University. You know, she got strung out on drugs. It was always on ESPN. When I saw you did it, I was so proud of you, man.
Thank you.
So keep going good things, man, and keep putting on for the G15.
Thank you so much, Hail State.
All right. Okay. Yeah, basically what he said, he was proud of her?
Yeah.
It took him that long to say that?
A little bit long-winded. I know, but thank you.
Janine, go ahead. What'd you like to say, Janine?
Hey, Deshauna. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Janine.
What did she say?
And Deshauna, chirp.
Oh, hey, Janine. Oh, Janine Lewis. Oh, wow. It's my sorority sister.
Oh, okay.
Hey, soror chirp.
Sigma Gamma Rho.
No, it's actually a different one, the National Society of Persian Sorority Incorporated. But I'm in two sororities. Hey, sis. Oh, my gosh.
Hey,
you need to message me. I'm doing good. Where are you at right now?
We are at JBLM, me and Phil.
Oh, nice. Tell your husband I said hey.
I will. And
awesome.
We're proud of you. And Virginia State, we all voted for you. And girl, do us proud.
Oh, thanks, Janine. I appreciate that.
What's y'all sorority noise? Y'all got a sorority noise?
It's like chirp.
Chirp?
Yep.
Chirp?
Chirp.
Chirp? Chirp?
Yeah, yeah.
Is a lot of birds in y'all sorority or something?
Shut up.
Disrespectful. They chirping.
Our mascot is the dove, so
okay.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
Some birds in there. Deshauna Barber's here. Okay, we're not going to do the 5 fingers of death with you.
Okay.
I know somebody in your life,
me.
especially requested that one.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but we do have something for you.
Okay.
And I don't know if the officials at the Miss USA pageant told you about this, but when you come here, you have some more questions to answer.
Okay.
And we call this
the Miss US Sway pageant.
Okay.
Okay.
She's your queen to be.
It's about beauty. It's about brains. It's about booty. It's the 2016 Miss US Sway pageant. Right now on Sway in the morning.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, we have Deshauna Barber, Miss USA here. This is the extended version of the interview process that you went through with Miss USA. DB, would you do the honors?
All right, first question. If you had to pick a rapper to go on a dinner date with, who would you choose?
Y'all are trying to get me in trouble with my boyfriend.
Well, no, hypothetically.
Okay. Okay. Which rapper would I go with?
Had to pick a rapper.
Yeah, I was gonna say Drake.
Of course.
But yeah, is that like cliche? I'm sorry. I love Drake.
Don't hate the player, man. You love Drake?
I love Drake. Yeah.
Why you light up when you say that?
He's got my favorite. I mean, he's got my favorite album.
Okay, say you love your boyfriend too, Sash.
I love my boyfriend.
It ain't the same, Drake.
Y'all are gonna get me in trouble.
That's my homie. I know he watches the show. Okay.
Question number 2. If given a chance, would you appear on Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
Yeah, I would. I would actually. Is that bad?
No, that ain't bad.
I love Khloe. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Khloe Kardashian.
They all come up here. Chloe's our homie. Everybody's our homie. Plus, that's
Khloe.
Massive exposure for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. I love Khloe though. Yeah, she's my favorite.
Why is that? Because she's so just unapologetic, straightforward.
Yeah, I think she's one of the realest ones of all of them. She's extremely honest, and I like that about her. Yeah. She's very direct, and I think that's cool too.
Then you get to sit at the dinner table and pick the mother's brain, because that's a brilliant mind. In that.
Yeah, she's the reason they are where they are right now. I mean, she's been an awesome manager for the family.
Okay, so maybe we'll see you on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Maybe.
Okay.
Question number 3. Have you ever gone skinny dipping?
Question number 4.
Let's move on forward.
Wow.
We got her.
Have you ever used your IT skills to do a background check on someone you were dating?
Damn, son.
Question number 5.
Yo, that was good. Yo, I want to know, Deshauna.
Oh my God. No. Well, okay. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I may or may not have hacked a couple things and found out that an ex was cheating. So it worked out. IT skills are great. I'm not in the relationship anymore. Things are great.
Okay. Paid off that education, right?
All right. Last question. This is an easy one. If you win Miss Universe, what will you do to celebrate?
If I win Miss Universe, what will I do to celebrate? I haven't had a drink in a while. So a real Jack and Coke would be great.
Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Heather, you like the brown?
She like the brown.
Miss USA like the brown.
Just a little bit, just a little sip. But I've been trying to wean I haven't had alcohol in a long time, so a good drink would be awesome.
Good for you. If you win Miss Universe, we'll all cheers.
Okay,
we'll all cheers with you. Okay.
Cheers to that.
Lastly, though, you're commander in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
And I can only imagine what that's like being a woman in the services. How have you dealt with like sexism and even rising in the ranks in the Army? Has it been an issue?
It hasn't been like a crazy issue, but I've definitely faced a couple hurdles in the military. But they're so supportive. But there's always going to be the old schools that aren't used to women being in certain positions. Yeah. And the way I deal with it is I just go with it. I try to be as direct as possible. I'm not a pushover when I'm in uniform. And that's the main thing, is to keep your foot very grounded. And if someone says something sexist or discriminatory to you, to make sure that you shut it down right then. Just right then. Yeah. So I try to make sure I do that. I also get issues because I'm a little bit smaller, obviously. So that can be more of an issue, even more than being a woman, is that people assume that you're weaker because you're small. Yeah. So I just... I've had to check a couple people. That happens, but I definitely think that the military has been awesome to me.
What does it sound like when you check somebody? Give me an example. Like I'm like private Sway or whatever.
Oh,
what'd you say?
Okay. Well,
and I say, hey, Commander, you looking really hot today.
I would probably say, you can calm that down or you'll regret it later. And I smile.
Damn, man, that smile you got might be misleading. We might take it like, oh, you saying save it for later? Wink, wink, wink. I'm just joking. Congratulations on all your accomplishments, okay?
You're awesome.
Commander Barber, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, and you do this country proud. You already have. Continue to do so. And I can't wait till you come back to be representing Miss Universe. Awesome. And then you do the 5 fingers of death. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. That's what's up. Aubrey O'Day is going to join us a little later. And Terrence Crawford, light welterweight champion, WBO champion, to be here as well. Sway in the morning, Shade 45.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45. Kilo.